Some places are never meant to feel empty. A home, a hospital, a ship. Places built for life, care, or connection. But when something awful happens, when tragedy festers instead of fading, those places change. They hold on. They whisper. They linger. What I'm about to share with you are not stories stitched together by imagination. They are real. Places you can walk into today. Places where something still stirs and watches. Let's begin with a quiet town in Iowa. A house with curtains drawn tight and memories no sunlight could ever cleanse. Villisca. It's just a name to most people. But to those who know, it stands for one of the most brutal and mysterious murders in American history. It was June 10th, 1912. Josiah and Sarah Moore lived in a modest white house with their 4 children. That night, the Moore family had hosted a church event and invited 2 neighbor girls to spend the night. Sometime after midnight, as they all slept, someone entered the house, not with force, but with familiarity. The doors were never locked back then. That intruder, still unidentified to this day, walked from room to room, and one by one, bludgeoned all 8 sleeping victims to death with an axe. The killer even returned to some of the bodies, delivering multiple final blows. The ceilings above the beds bore the marks of the weapon's swing. What's disturbing isn't just the savagery, it's what the killer did afterward. Mirrors were covered with cloth. A slab of bacon was found near the axe. A bowl of bloody water sat beside the bed, as if the murderer had washed up. Every body had been covered with a sheet or piece of clothing. He or she had taken their time. The town was paralyzed. Suspects emerged, drifters, a preacher, even a state senator. But no one was ever convicted. The house stood still, like a wound that refused to close. Today, that house remains, and those who've dared to stay overnight report eerily similar experiences. Laughter in empty rooms, doors that open and close on their own, a heavy sense of pressure on their chest as they try to sleep. Some feel watched. Others report the distinct sound of an axe dragging across the floor upstairs. One guest claimed she awoke to the sensation of someone brushing her hair. Another says she saw a shadow step across the hallway, then vanish without a trace. It's as if the house refuses to forget. As if each creaking board carries the memory of that horrific night. The most unsettling part. The spirits aren't malevolent. They're lost. Repeating a night they never understood. A night that left them unfinished. Now, we descend deeper. South to Kentucky, to a place meant to heal, but known for despair. Waverly Hills Sanatorium. In the early 1900s, tuberculosis ravaged the American South. People called it the White Plague. It was slow, relentless, and deadly. Doctors didn't know how to cure it, so they built Waverly, a vast fortress-like hospital on a hill, meant to isolate the sick and protect the healthy. Its halls were lined with beds, sunrooms, rest porches. Patients were exposed to constant fresh air, even in winter. Some had balloons surgically inserted in their lungs to inflate collapsed tissue. Others endured painful thoracoplasties, where ribs were removed to make breathing easier. The thinking was simple: keep the body breathing no matter the cost. But Waverly became more than a hospital. It became a city of the dying. Over 60,000 souls passed through its doors. Some never left. Not in spirit, not in story. The building was so full of death that staff used an underground tunnel to transport the bodies discreetly. They called it the body chute. One former nurse once said, "We stopped thinking of them as people. They were just numbers. Just the next one to go." And yet, some never truly went. Room 502 is infamous. It's where a nurse was found hanging from a light fixture. An apparent suicide. No note, no explanation. Another nurse, pregnant and unmarried, allegedly leapt to her death from the window. Today, visitors report overwhelming nausea when entering that room. Some say they hear sobbing from behind the door. Others swear they've seen a woman in white standing at the window before she fades into the dusk. Then there are the shadows. They dart across corridors. They peek from behind doorways. One figure, often described by paranormal investigators, crawls along the ceiling. No name. just a presence. Hungry. Watching. Some people enter Waverly with a camera, expecting dust and debris. They leave with something else. A voice they didn't hear in real time. A scratch that wasn't there before. A sense of being followed long after they drive away. Waverly doesn't scare you like a monster hiding in a closet. It unravels you, piece by piece. It's the weight of suffering left behind, echoing off concrete walls for nearly a century. And then we turn to the sea. Docked in Long Beach, California, rests a ship so grand, so storied, it was once known as the most luxurious vessel ever built, the RMS Queen Mary. But beneath its elegance lies a tale of sorrow, service, and the unexplained. Launched in 1936, the Queen Mary ferried the rich and royal across the Atlantic. But when World War II erupted, she was painted gray and converted into a troop transport. They called her the Gray Ghost. She carried more soldiers than any other ship, and some never made it home. She collided with a smaller ship, slicing it in two. Hundreds died instantly. Others drowned in her wake. Below deck, men were trapped during drills. One, an 18-year-old fireman, was crushed by door 13, a watertight hatch that slammed shut without warning. To this day, visitors report seeing him, his blue coveralls stained with oil, standing by the very door that ended his life. He disappears as quickly as he appears. But the Queen Mary's most haunted spot isn't in the engine room. It's the first-class swimming pool. Long since drained and closed to the public, the pool area is the center of dozens of reports. A little girl, in an old-fashioned swimsuit, has been seen standing near the diving board. Guests report hearing splashing, laughter, even the playful sounds of a ball bouncing on tile. But when they check the security feed, no one's there. One crew member swore he saw a woman walking down the hallway in 1940s clothing. He turned to greet her. She was gone. Others speak of a faceless man in a tuxedo standing silently in the ballroom mirror, watching. The ship, now permanently docked, offers tours and overnight stays. But many who go in search of luxury find something else. An icy breeze in a sealed corridor, the sound of footsteps behind them, the lingering smell of perfume from no source at all. The Queen Mary never truly left the ocean. Her ghosts still drift through her decks, endlessly circling. 3 places. One landlocked in a town that time tried to forget. One perched on a hill of lost hope. One adrift on calm waters, never fully at rest. They are bound not just by death, but by the persistence of presence. These are not stories designed to scare you. They are echoes of what was, of what still might be. Because long after the headlines fade, the whispers remain. And if you ever find yourself inside one of these places, feeling a chill, sensing a gaze, hearing a sound you can't explain, remember this. Some places don't need permission to remember you. So, would you still walk in?